an extraordinary trust that provides future estate tax protection for your kids, well, really for your grandkids, for your great-grandkids, and for future generations. Now, how do you do this? How do you protect future generations? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Don't leave them anything. Don't even leave them a penny. Not 1 cent. And you're like, okay, Mark, obviously if I don't leave my kids any money, they're protected because they have no money from lawsuits or whatever. If they get divorced, yeah, there's nothing to be lost. Wrong. I'm not saying that. I mean, you don't have to leave money to your kids, but if you do want to leave assets for your kids, but you want it to be protected for future generations, there are much more powerful tools. They're called, our version is family protection trusts. They're generically known as Dynasty Trusts. We talk about these a lot, but I hammer this. When you hear the term Dynasty Trust, what image do you have in your mind? Just take a moment. Dynasty Trust. What are you picturing in your mind's eye? It might be something like this, right? A mansion, countryside, rolling gardens, butlers, but it's not just for billionaires. And it's not even just for multimillionaires. I think any family, if you own a house in California, I think you should create a Dynasty Trust for each of your kids. Family Protection Trust is our version. Now, by leaving assets, let's say you have 2 kids, you would set up a family, like a son and daughter, you would set up a family protection trust for your son and a family protection trust for your daughter. Your living trust that you have wouldn't leave money to them, it would leave money to the trusts. Why would you do that? 3 big reasons. 1, if your child endures a divorce, well, if they inherit money and they commingle it, it could largely be lost in a divorce settlement, or at least 50% of it. If it's in one of these trusts, it's not commingled, it stays separate, and it should be protected in case your child endures a divorce, not lost to that significant other that maybe you didn't like from the beginning. If your child is sued, if they inherit money directly, that's fair game. If it's in a family protection trust, there's a barrier. You're creating a very big obstacle, making it a lot harder for someone to go after that money. So people generally then settle for pennies on the dollar. And here's when the subject of this talk is really on estate taxes. And here's something really, really powerful. So we talked about how family protection trust can be layered in with other estate and gift tax planning tools. But once money is in a family protection trust, most of it is protected from future estate taxes. There are some limits here, but let's just give a broad example. Let's say you leave $5 million for the benefit of your son in a family protection trust. He uses that trust. He can be in charge of it, by the way. He can be his own trustee. You don't have to have a third-party trustee. He uses that to support himself, but he invests it really well. And that grows to 10 million or even 15 million during his life. When he passes away, it should not be touched by estate taxes because the trust just continues for his kids, your grandkids. So it doesn't protect when it goes from mom and dad into these trusts. We have to use other tools to protect. We could use a spousal lifetime access trust or LLCs. But once it's in a family protection trust, all or most of the money in that trust is protected for about 100 years from future estate taxes. It's extraordinary multi-generational protection. And they last for about 100 years in California. And even if you're just starting out with what you consider to be a smaller amount, like 50% of a home is going to go to each of your kids, $1 million each, which I know crazy that $1 million each is not that much in the Bay Area or in LA or whatever. That just doubles or triples during your children's lives. It's protected for one generation. It's protected for another generation. It can grow. It can get that compound growth and double or triple over time. And we have no idea what estate taxes will be like in 20, 30, 40 years. But I think there's a very good argument that they could be much more strict as we go into the future. As the gap between the haves and the have-nots gets wider, I think it's very logical taxes get more punishing. Family protection trusts, or a version of dynasty trusts, can be layered in with other estate and gift tax planning. We think they are almost no-brainers for the vast majority of our clients, and the majority of our clients end up setting these up, one for each child. And if you have a child with special needs, it's a different type of trust. But they are so powerful, they should not just be for the ultra-wealthy. So you can contact us at gilfix.com, 650-493-8070. I hope everybody's staying safe, sane, and healthy.